Hello, welcome or welcome back to the Yarn and Yarns YouTube channel. My name is Angela and all the places you can find me should be linked in the description box below this video. Welcome to day 2 of our 12 cast on extravaganza for 2021. As I say that, we've only got a couple of days left of 2021, so this will inevitably hop on over, leach in to the beginning of 2022, but it always does. Before I share with you what I'm going to be casting on today, I just wanted to say a big thank you to everyone out there for the enthusiasm with which you have greeted this make along again. And for anyone who is new or relatively new to the channel and is thinking, I want to join in the fun, but I can't possibly cast on 12 projects, I completely understand. Not everyone is quite as extra as me wanting to cast on the full 12, but you don't have to. You can cast on one project and join in the fun. There is no obligation to cast on 12. So anything from 1 to 12 cast on between the 24th of December, Christmas Eve, and the 31st of January will count for our make along. I don't know about you, but I'm having one of those days. It's already almost midday and I'm just sitting down to record this, so yeah, haven't even thought about winding up any yarn to cast on yet. I'm not sure where the morning's gone. I'm currently waiting. I've recorded the end of yesterday's video and I'm currently waiting for that to upload to YouTube. And I think I've spent the last half an hour hunting around in the craft attic because I had in mind a particular project bag that I wanted to use for this cast on. And I don't know why, I just had it in my mind. I've got this beautiful project bag that was sent to me by Michelle. I'm not sure if Michelle's watching at the moment, but it's a beautiful grey project bag with these cute little birds on. And I used it quite recently for a sock project, and can I find it? My room, as I mentioned yesterday, is such a mess up there, and I'm sure it's tucked away in a corner somewhere, probably still with needles and leftover yarn in it from when I last used it, but I just couldn't find it. So yeah, that's put me in a bit of a strop. Not that it should. I have many beautiful project bags to choose from. I'm in that lucky position where I've bought myself some. I've been gifted quite a few. So it's not like I'm short of a project bag or two, but you know when you get a thing in your head that you want to do or use a specific thing. Anyway, let's move on from that. Let's talk about today's cast on. So today, in an equally beautiful to the one that I was going to be using project bag, this one is by Emma of Eldenwood Crafts, and I purchased this at a Knit Tea retreat, which must be 3 years ago now. I think the last two have been virtual. So yeah, it's this beautiful green fabric, and I added my Knit Tea retreat pin badge and also one of my Sinister Cat badges because the colours matched. You might have been able to hear some rustling because today I'm going to be using for my cast on this beautiful set of minis. That were recently gifted to me by the lovely Angela. Angela sent some sock yarns and bits and pieces for our Socks for West Midlands Ambulance Service sock appeal. And in the package, she also gifted me that gorgeous set of minis amongst other things. And I knew as soon as I saw the minis that I'd be using them for my 12 cast ons. Now, I've been going backwards and forwards about what project to actually cast on, and I think, as I mentioned yesterday, it's a symptom of this year in that I haven't really planned my cast ons and I'm just kind of going with it. And originally I thought this would be my Christmas Eve cast on and I'd make a pair of socks. And then the more I thought about it, the more I've more recently been leaning away from the beautiful sort of merino nylon indie dyed yarn for socks, and I really love the sort of sturdiness of an opal or a West Yorkshire spinners. That's not to say I won't ever cast on a beautiful indie dyed pair of socks in my future. I probably will, and maybe even for this make along. Who knows? But yeah, I just thought that I could think of something else to use that set of minis for. I narrowed it down to 2 projects. I was thinking about it last night while I was knitting away on my Waterland sweater, trying to give myself a bit of a head start for today to figure out what I wanted to cast on. And I was looking through my library, my pattern library. I was looking at some of the patterns that I've been gifted because that's something I also try to do for my 12 cast ons, is try and use some of the lovely presents that I've been given. So for this one, not only will I be using that lovely gifted set of minis, but I'm going to be using a gifted pattern as well. And I narrowed down my pattern choice to 2 patterns that I had in my library. And the first one, which is the one that I haven't chosen this time, was a gift from Tammy, which was the Secret Garden Cowl, which is a pattern I think by Nora George. And if you follow my Instagram and if you've followed here for a while, you'll know that The Secret Garden is my favourite ever book, and I reread it at least once a year, and I have been rereading it a chapter a day through December. And part of me really wanted to cast on that cowl because I just thought it would be fitting given that I had been sort of rereading that book. However, looking at the pattern details, there are several versions. You can make a scarf version, you can make a cowl of 2 different widths, and I just couldn't wrap my head around exactly what I wanted to do with that pattern. So I thought, you know what, let's put that on the back burner, and I will definitely cast that on at some point, but not this year. Instead, I landed on another beautiful pattern that was gifted to me by my friend Jen, and it's a shawl pattern by Tammy Gore. And I've knit Tammy's patterns before, and actually I grabbed one of the patterns that I've knit from her before. This is the Drifter shawl, which I knit a little while ago from 2 skeins of beautiful yarn that were gifted to me by my lovely friend Jeanette. And I believe, if I remember rightly, one of these yarns, I think this brownie sort of colour, was dyed by Jeanette, and the other one's from Easy Knits, maybe. I can't remember exactly the details now. But this is one of my favourite shawls. I love the shape of it, I love the colours, and I've been wearing this a lot this winter, tucked under my coat when I'm out and about. I thought it was high time that I knit another one of Tammy's shawls. She's got loads of shawl patterns. If you've not come across Tammy Gore before, then you should definitely check out her pattern catalogue, because as I say, she's got loads of beautiful shawl patterns. And that I'm going to be casting on today is called the Love Your Stash shawl, and as I mentioned, it was gifted to me by my lovely friend Jen. And Jen gifted it to me, I think in her note she said, I thought this might be useful for your handspun, and it absolutely would. But in this case, I have decided to use that beautiful set of Bumbling Yarns minis, and this is the pattern as shown on the sort of pattern page. So it's got a lovely asymmetrical shape, which I really like in a shawl, and the idea is to use up leftovers and things from your stash. Now I think the original pattern, if I remember, has got sort of 4 or 5 colours in it, but it does say, use up your leftovers, use up your minis. So I'm just going to be randomly changing in my yarns as and when they come to knit that lovely shawl. So that's the plan, and we'll see how we will get on. I think I'm not going to wind all of the minis. I think I'm probably just going to use them in the order that they're in the pack. So I'll be starting with this really light one. This is a beautiful pale colour which has some hints of purple and pink in. I'm not sure how well the subtlety of this will pick up on the camera, but I'll try and give you a bit of a close-up. So yeah, I'm not sure if you can see those sort of tones in there. There's some lovely sort of creamy beige, there's pinks and purples. I think it's going to be beautiful. It has a tag on it which says it is called To Love, To Cherish, To Obey. So I guess that's the colourway, and it's a merino nylon blend, a 10 gram mini. So yeah, I'm going to get stuck in and cast on with this first colour. Now I think I might just wind this up by hand. It's a small little mini, and I feel like that'll be a nice thing just to settle me down after my morning of hunting around for things that I can't find. And as I do wind this mini, you'll probably notice, because I'll change the angle of the camera, I'm still in my pyjamas. I've just put a jumper on the top. It's midday, don't judge. It's that Christmas, New Year in between times. Why do I always think that hand winding minis will be relaxing when it just turns into a tangled nightmare? Will I ever learn? Probably not. Well, hello, welcome to my Thursday morning. I'm a little bit damp around the edges, sorry, I've not long gotten out of the shower. Yesterday wasn't a very vlog-worthy day. We headed out to forage for some groceries, we walked up into town, and then I did some cleaning. I did a little corner of the craft attic, which honestly, a few weeks ago, that room was tidy and manageable, and fast forward a couple of weeks later and it's just like a bomb's gone off in there. Doesn't take long for that room to get out of hand. So we're going to be tackling a little bit more of that today. I also did that annual sort of deep clean of the kitchen cupboards where everything comes out. You clean off all the shelves properly and then you sort through and check the dates on everything that's been lurking at the back of the cupboards, and you know, throw away those things that are best before 2020, or open the packet, give it a sniff, and if it seems all right, cook something up with it. You know what I mean. I made some reasonable progress on my shawl project, which I will of course show you in a bit, but of course I need to share first the cast-ons that have been undertaken by our wonderful community. And I have to say, once again, the support for the make-along and the encouragement, even from the folks in the community who aren't casting on, has just been amazing in the comments. So some people who aren't casting on have said that they enjoy the videos for just the inspiration from all of the lovely projects that everyone is casting on. And I have to say, I completely get that, because anytime someone mentions a pattern that I am not aware of, then I have to go and look it up and see what it is. My list of things that I want to cast on just grows and grows and grows. But a comment from the lovely Terry also resonated with me. I'm paraphrasing a bit, but Terry said that she enjoys the cast-ons for taking the time to look back at patterns that we already own, or patterns that maybe aren't the newest, because pattern releases in the knitting world come fast and furious, don't they? And that's one of the things that I originally started my 12 cast-ons for, were to get some of those projects on the needles that I've really wanted to make for ages and never quite got around to. So yeah, I love all of the thoughtful comments under the videos, so thank you, keep them coming. Right, so today's cast-ons. So Nia has cast on some socks for her mum, who is called Angela, awesome name. And Nia is using some yarn that she got from one of the Yarn and Yarns mystery sock clubs, which just made me so happy to see that pop up. Joel is starting a love note, and I am wearing my love note today in honour of that. Mary has started a Picking Daisy shawl. I just love that name. I love that name. It just instantly transports me to flower meadows and memories of childhood picking daisies and making daisy chains. Mary's also cast on some owly socks and has started spinning up the fibre that she got in her fibre advent. Tina has started a Twisted Sisters headband, and Tina's using some yarn that she received as a gift from her mum, so that makes that project just that tiny little bit more special, doesn't it, using gifted yarn. Jeanette has started a Jasmine baby cardigan, and Jeanette's already knit the Jasmine dress for a new baby that's going to be becoming part of her family soon, and that's just going to make such a cute set with the bonnet and the booties that Jeanette's already made. Angela has started a new pair of socks. Tracy has started a springtime ponchette and has plans for many more cast on, she says. Davina has knit 2 hats already, so knit, cast on and finished, and has plans for some garment cast on soon. Kathy has started some winter frost socks and some show us your scrap socks. I love a good pair of scrappy socks. The lovely Kate has started an Echo hat, and you might remember that I knit an Echo hat for Alex of Late Night Knits Bat to Hat Cow a little while ago, and I really enjoyed that pattern. It's a woolly wormhead hat. And the lovely Rachel has started a habitation throw, I love mine, a pavement sweater, and has cast on and cast off a hat, which she will be donating, and has also started to knit a pair of socks. Now Rachel knits pairs of socks and raises money for charity by knitting sort of socks to commission, which is just absolutely wonderful. She's started her first charity commission of, well, in effect the new year, as part of her 12 cast-ons, which is just amazing. So thank you for sharing all of the details of your cast-ons, and I've had quite a few people saying that they're planning their cast-ons and haven't started yet, so I shall look forward to seeing many more cast-on comments pop up in the videos too. Now, time to grab my project bag. It crinkles every time because I've still got those minis in the packaging in there. I did actually make a little bit more progress than I had thought I might yesterday, because I knew that I had a bunch of jobs and things that I wanted to get done around the house. And my aim was to, I don't think I mentioned it, I think I mentioned my aims on the first day, but my aim yesterday was to try and knit through that first mini. And I managed to do that, and I actually also started the second mini. So I have completed the first section, in effect, of the shawl, which is a lovely garter section. And this really wasn't that much knitting time. I didn't actually cast on until sort of evening time, and then of course had to stop to make dinner and things, but we were watching a few episodes of This and That on telly, and I managed to get through the first section. I think it helped that it was a garter section and also a 2-row pattern repeat, so very memorisable and easy to get into the flow of the knitting. So yeah, that beautiful sort of subtle coloured yarn in the first section, I think you can see some of those colours coming through. And then I transitioned into the second mini in that pack, which is a sort of beigey, almost peachy tone with some blue flecks, which is really lovely. Let me just show you the mini wound up. And this is how it's knitting up. And of course I have reclaimed my progress keepers that were a generous gift from the lovely Judith last year. So I've got 12 of these wooden progress keepers, which I add to my projects. So yeah, not bad. As I said, I've finished the first section and I'm going into a lace panel next. So that will be for next time I pick up this project. Oh, I forgot to mention that while I was tidying the craft room, I did find that project bag that I was looking for. So I've added it to the project bag pile, and I'm sure I'll use it for a different cast on at some point over the next 10 days or so. Right, okay, so day 2 is done and I need to head on off to get this uploaded, edited, uploaded, and then I can think about starting my day 3 cast on. So I hope I will see you again tomorrow for day 3, but until we do get to spend time together again, I hope you get to do some of the things that you enjoy. Great big woolly hugs to you all, and don't forget to cast on all the things. please don't let me be alone in this. See you tomorrow.